For the 5th time in the course of 3 days, these athletes are going to be tested, and this one is no joke, Bill. What are we looking at here?
Well, I think that, we've done the classic endurance type of event. This is your more chipper style event where you just have a whole bunch of reps thrown at you, and here's what it is. Basically a 50s setup. So we have 50 handstand push-ups, 50 toes to bar, 50 cows on the assault bike, then 50 dumbbell box step overs with those dumbbells, and the men are going to be holding 70 pounds in each hand. You can see that box right there, stepping up and over that as they march that down. Then we have a lunge, and we see right arm one way and then left arm the other way. And here's the thing, we're holding both dumbbells still. So one will be in the front rack, the other one will be up overhead, and then we swap it on the back for that second 50 feet.
All right, let's take a look at where our athletes will be lining up here. Of course, this is going to be a big one, roughly 20 to a heat. We see there in this one Mike Brown in lane 9, Tyler Tasunian in lane 7. But these athletes, they're going to be crowded out there. We also see Neil Maddox in 13, Eric Evans in 16, and Tanner Sturm in 18. Again, we're getting ready for event number 5 of the men's individual competition. It's Heat 1 here on the final day of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games West Regional here inside Del Mar Arena in Del Mar, California. And the crowds have just about packed this place to capacity, and we are getting set for what is sure to be a thrilling final day. And the men's individual competition on the final day of the West Regional has begun.
So we start off with those 50 handstand push-ups. And if you look at the course of this particular event, all this really does is to put a little bit of taxing on your shoulders. You're not going to win or lose on this particular segment of the event. So there's no reason to necessarily go through and blast yourself all the way through. Now, if you want to stay on your head for 50, that's fine. But you have plenty of time over the course of this 17-minute time cap to come down, relax those shoulders a little bit, keep that heart rate down, because you're really going to need that when you get to that center part. Again, right after this, we have the toes to bar. So not anything that's going to damage you. It's just a matter of getting some work done before you actually have to get into that really, really ugly dual coupling of this assault bike and those dumbbell box step overs.
Again, 55 seconds gone by here in heat number 1 of event number 5 here. Final day at the West Regional. Starting off, they've got to get through 50 handstand push-ups.
Wow. So here we are a minute into it. We already have someone who's made their way to the toes to bar over in lane number 9. I'm sorry, Hunter Britt in lane 18. I forgot, we double these people up here. But that was so fast. Like, why? I just don't, I know you want to get out to the front, but again, a long chipper, you don't need to crush yourself in the beginning. Save it for where you need it. But if handstand push-ups are your strength, that's fine, get through them, get to the next pieces.
Again, that's Hunter Britt on the right and Eric Evans on the left. Out to the 50 toes to bar portion. Two minutes into the 17-minute cap here. Most athletes have now moved past the 50 handstand push-ups and onto the 50 toes to bar. After that, you see those assault bikes waiting. They'll have to burn through 50 calories there. That is Stephen Bidwell, center screen in the red top. He is currently sitting in about 3rd right now.
We see a lot more breaking up with the toes to bar. I think that might just be across the field, everyone came off the wall pretty hot. Again, there's no reason to try to do 50 unbroken. Do sets of 10, sets of 7 even, not a big deal. Keep the heart rate down.
All right, in the green top there, that's Hunter Britt. He is in the lead. Gray top to the left of him, that's Eric Evans. He's in 2nd right about now, and on the right, that is Tanner Sturm. And these 3 are rounding out the top 3 right now. And you see the judges' hands are up. And it will be Hunter Britt, the first one off and onto the assault bike.
So with that assault bike, we have 50 calories. Now, if you were to do just a 50-calorie shot, these guys could probably knock this off just over a minute. Minute 15 seconds, somewhere around there. Now, with that being said, you do not want to do that in this particular event. You saw these guys hop on the bike. You saw them drop their hands down, trying to get some blood back into their arms. They were upside down, then they were hanging from the bar, so they want to kind of chill that out just a little bit. This will probably take, I'd say, probably closer to 2 minutes, or just a little bit more than 2 minutes, just so that they can kind of get into the groove. You can see Hunter kind of looking over to see what Eric Evans' screen looks like. Well, how fast are you going? Well, I don't know if I want to go that fast or not. Setting up their strategy. I think the idea here is just get through these calories. Get on the bike, find a comfortable pace. Don't crush yourself, because the worst part of this entire segment, I believe, is going to go from that bike to where you have to go up and over that box step over.
Do any of the athletes resent anyone else looking at their screen?
I don't think it's like a high school test where you're trying to cover your screen. You know, don't look at my test, I got this over here. But you may, I really don't think that people think about it all that much. I mean, yes, you're going to be on the bike for a little bit, but if someone's a little bit ahead, it just kind of makes you think like, okay, is that going to work for me, or is that not going to work for me? It gives you a little bit of time to test it out, but I don't think anyone's resenting it or trying to smack their face or to kind of move their head away. Hey, it's my screen, don't look at my stuff.
In the camo green top there, that is Hunter Britt. He is in the lead. To the left of him in the Savage shirt, the gray, that is Eric Evans. And we're also seeing over towards the middle of the screen in lane number 7, Tyler Tosunian up there towards the top 3 as well. But in the camo green, in lane 17, that's Hunter Britt.
You know,
he's our early leader.
And we've been talking a little bit about pacing on the assault bike, what it should look like, how fast should they be going, how hard should they be pushing. You know, when we were looking at some of the other elements over the course of the weekend, I think for these guys, they're going to be sitting somewhere around like 65. They're not trying to go super hard. They just want to be nice and consistent. They're moving, yes, but just enough to get through that 50 calories. So I think we'll probably see like a revolution of about 65-ish, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit less depending.
All right, we are on event number 5 here, heat number 1 at the West Regional. We've gotten through the 50 handstand push-ups and the 50 toes to bar. Now the athletes are on the 50-calorie assault bike portion of this. After this, it's 50 dumbbell box step overs, and they will have a 70-pound dumbbell in each hand for a total of 140 pounds. So again, they're on the 50-calorie assault bike portion. Next is the 50 dumbbell box step overs.
There's a very different cadence to these athletes here. Different sense of urgency because they know what's coming up. So they aren't trying to break themselves off on the bike, just trying to get themselves through it. We do see a hand starting to go up. So we can see that some of these athletes are starting to push, and I think that's going to come more from your larger athletes. The bigger you are on the assault bike, the easier it's going to be able to generate some of that power. You can see right there with Hunter Britt, that's about that 60 RPM that we were talking about. I think it's a great tempo, and he doesn't have to be worried that he's not the first to get off the bike.
Again, that is Hunter Britt. Hunter Britt sitting in about 2nd right now, as we see lane 8, Kyle Kleinschmidt has been the first to make it to the dumbbell box step overs.
And one of the things with Kyle that works in his favor is he's a tall athlete. So the fact that he's able to just, you can see him, he's not really having to step up too high to get up and over that box. And that's one of the things that, for your advantage, if you are a taller athlete, it's going to work to your favor.
We also see Medeiros in lane 11 has made his way out, as has Stephen Bidwell in lane 3. Event record belongs to who else but Patrick Felder. 14:35.82 in the East Regional. And Bill, as they say, that's just Patrick Felder doing Patrick Felder things.
Yeah, he actually, I watched that event. He did very, very well, looked very comfortable as he was moving up and over that box, over just to the point that when he got done with it, he actually sat down on the box just to kind of chill his legs out just a touch.
You see in the headband moving his box forward first, that is Kyle Kleinschmidt. He is our leader.
Now, I think one of the things you have to do here is get up and over that box as fast as possible. And what I mean by that is you don't want to get up on top of that box and try and stand all the way up. Get one foot up and then try to get your other feet up and over as fast as you can. Now you also can use the dumbbells to your advantage. You can get a little bit of a swing with those dumbbells to help give a little bit of momentum to carry you up and over. The other thing would be to stay low. You don't have to waste time getting up nice and tall. So I'm not saying that you need to drag those dumbbells across the base of or the top of that box, but stay low so you're not having to lift them up.
Again, we're getting a look at Kyle Kleinschmidt in the center of your screen there with the headband. He is our early leader here in event number 5, heat number 1. He's 25th overall, heading into day number 3. Kleinschmidt still out in front. .9:15 gone by, 17-minute cap. Kleinschmidt continues to forge ahead.
Now we're talking about some different strategies, and one of the ones that I really picked out that I like, if you look right in the middle of your screen, that's Mike Brown. He's in the all purple. He's got his hands on his knees right now. But what I like to see is the way he was up and would turn on the box and immediately come right back over. So now, granted, if you go faster on your reps, you usually end up taking a little bit longer break. However, watch the way he sets us up. Up, down, up, down. Look at the speed of that. Now, when you are, I mean, he's obviously a very small, weak individual. I mean,
Clearly.
Look at the size of this guy. Come on. He picks up those dumbbells, and he's able to support that weight and turn his body and step back down. I've played with these dumbbells. I played with this step up and over. Once you start to get tired, you lose some of that coordination. So the fact he's able to do that pretty well, that's going to, I think, bode pretty well for him.
Well, this is something we talk about. He's showing that efficiency of movement, not wasting any energy.
No, I mean, granted, he's cutting down the reps. They aren't big chunks, but when he's moving, it's fast. And so he doesn't have that time under tension, which I think is going to be a plus, especially once you get to the lunge portion when you go down and back.
See Kyle Kleinschmidt in the headband out there towards the left of your screen. He is our leader right now in heat number 1 of event number 5. 10 minutes and 40 seconds gone by into the 17-minute cap. Final day of competition here at the West Regional.
Now with Kyle, the only thing I would say that is hurting him just a touch is that when he comes off the box, you see him take 2 or 3 steps. He comes off the box and then takes 2 or 3 steps out. So that's adding time to his time under tension. Instead of getting reps done. So if he could stop that stepping just a little bit shorter, he would actually save a little bit of time for himself.
And you see shirtless Medeiros flipping his box over to move up. He's actually cutting into that lead that Kleinschmidt has. So again, Medeiros, again, shirtless white bottoms, catching up on where Kleinschmidt is in the lead. So Kleinschmidt in the headband, he is our leader right now. You see Medeiros, white trunks, shirtless, trying to catch up. And he's using the low torso method, which is something we've seen in the other regional competitions.
And I think it's good. I'll say this. One, I think that would hurt my back. I think it would really kind of blow my back out. But what it does do is it ensures that you're going to go up and over that box quickly, and you aren't extending yourself up and taking all that extra time. So he's doing that, which is moving him across the box fast, and he's not stepping out very far, which has allowed him to make up. I mean, he's rep for rep right now with Kyle. So Kyle, even though he's picking up the dumbbells first, is literally 2 reps, 1 rep ahead.
So here's our leader, Kleinschmidt, just about 1 step over ahead of where Medeiros is over there. White trunks on the right side of your screen right now. Medeiros is giving chase right front and center. This is Kleinschmidt. He's our leader here in heat number 1. This is heat number 5, or excuse me, heat number 1 of event number 5 here, men's individual competition at the West Regional. They've gone through 50 handstand push-ups, 50 toes to bar, 50 calorie assault bike portion. Now they're on the 50 dumbbell box step overs. After this, it'll be a 50-foot lunge with 140 pounds, 1 dumbbell racked on one side, the other one overhead in the right hand arm in the air. Then they'll reverse that and come back the other direction. And the cap is 17 minutes, so they've got less than 4 minutes left to complete this. Now we see it's going to be Kleinschmidt first to get into that front rack position. Right hand overhead. He is our leader. And he is making his way out on to this overhead lunge portion. Now, I know, Bill, you said you messed around with this. What's the hardest part of it?
I think it's a matter of where you position the dumbbells in relationship to your body. So you can see the arm that's extended. If he can let that arm hang back, which it looks like from the, at least from, I mean, we're obviously seeing from the front, but if you look from the side, it's probably sitting back, so it's working against his shoulder joint. That way he's not having to forcibly support it up overhead. You can actually see that a little bit more on Medeiros over in the white shorts. You can see that arm locked way out on the left-hand side there, and it's hanging back. Now myself, I like to support, when I was playing with this, I like to support that dumbbell in more of the front rack position. It allows me to give a little bit more of a balance. You can see with just Medeiros in the white shorts, that dumbbell's starting to kind of fall down, and I don't want to have things sliding on my body if I'm doing that. I want to try and keep control of both those dumbbells on the way down and back.
So on the right side of your screen now, these are our leaders. It's Kleinschmidt in the black top and Medeiros white trunks, no top, giving chase. And Medeiros, he thought about getting right back into it.
I think that these guys got to roll the dice here a little bit, get themselves back down there.
So this is Malachi Bennett in third place in lane number 12. But you can see on the inside, Medeiros has taken the lead. Medeiros moving quite quickly. He is our leader now, middle of your screen. That's Kleinschmidt on the left, Medeiros our leader on the right. Medeiros moving with great efficiency. He was faster on the lunge on the way down, now on the return. He has taken the lead. Medeiros comes across to take heat number 1.
That was impressive. He looked spectacular on those lunges. I love the way he was supporting that dumbbell. You can see his arm was really locked out. Great position, and allowed him to have a lot of efficiency, not lose a lot of energy to get himself across that finish line.
Again, 15:35. Here's Kleinschmidt. And you can see Medeiros just blaze past him. Kleinschmidt still looking to finish out strong. He will be second in heat number 1. And you see just how far out in front these two guys were compared to everybody else. So Kleinschmidt comes across. He'll take second in heat number 1. Less than a minute remains. That's Stahl in black. Although he's going to set him down, he'll be overtaken on the inside. And that's Katrikala. He's taken over on the inside there, center of your screen. They've got 23 seconds left. And Vinny Katrikala will come across, and he'll get in under the cap. And that's Malachi Bennett who came across as well. Stahl, can he get in? He'll cross the finish line. But there's the horn. But a very impressive performance from Justin Medeiros, who comes from behind to overtake Kleinschmidt and was absolutely flying on the lunge portion of this. And this is going to be where we see our leaders: Josh Bridges, Cole Sager, Brent Fikowski, Mitch Barnard, Mitchell Stevenson, Garrett Fisher, Cody Anderson, Christian Lucero. Bill, obviously 4th to 8th, there's a lot that can happen here.
There is an absolute ton of shuffling that can go on. Now, even though we got Josh up at the top, I'll tell you what, sometimes it just sucks to have short legs, and in this particular one with those box step overs, that's not going to do well for you. Doesn't mean he won't do well, but it's now he's got to deal with that. You got some of the other taller athletes that are in there that are right on the bubble. I mean, we have Garrett Fisher, who's 2 points out of that top 5. I think he's going to do well here. So, you know, again, we look at what this chipper is. It's a 50 handstand push-ups, 50 toes to bar, 50 cals on the assault bike. Then it's those dumbbell box step overs. We have 50 of those carrying 2 70-pound dumbbells. Then we have that right arm and then the left arm lunge, 50 foot down, 50 foot back with the 17-minute time cap. This is a grinding chipper, and you know what? We have these every year at the regional event, and this year is no different.
Who wants to go to the CrossFit Games? Top 5 will advance to Madison when all is said and done on this final day of competition. Here are lane assignments. We see Brent Fikowski in lane number 9. Cody Anderson in lane 7. Now there are 20 athletes in this heat. Cole Sager, the front-running Cole Sager for once. He's in lane 11. Garrett Fisher, he's in lane 13. Christian Lucero in 14. So this is going to be a wild heat here. Event number 5.
Now what I'm seeing differently already in this heat compared to the last heat is we have a lot of athletes that are coming off the wall early. See Cole Sager right there in the white t-shirt, he's coming off early. I think that's smart. There's really no reason to crush yourself unless you're someone like Josh Bridges. Now this is where he has a chance to excel. He's got the shorter arms, so he needs to get himself ahead of the field a bit because everyone else with those long legs are gonna reel him in on those box step overs.
And it's Bridges who's out first to the toes to bar. Now they have to get through 50 toes to bar before they get on to a 50-calorie burn on the assault bike.
I think everyone, all the shorter athletes had that same plan. If you look down at the bottom of your screen, Jeff Patzer in the blue tank top, just above him, Stoneberg also. Those guys all came off the handstand push-ups very fast. Not that I think that they were hurting themselves. I think that just based on the length of the levers, they were able to do that. So take that, use that to your advantage because it's not going to hurt them, but get a little bit of distance so that you need that time, that cushion, once you get to the high box step over for these guys.
From left to right here, starting with the red trunks, that's Fikowski. Then we add Bridges. Again, they're on the 50 toes to bar portion.
So we're looking at Garrett Fisher right there in the middle. He's sitting in that 6th place spot, but I tell you what, he's only 2 points out. Now the fact that he didn't come off the wall, not a problem. Even the fact of him coming off the toes to bar, not having to be first. He doesn't need to do that. Once he gets to the bike, he's in a great position. He has a lot of power. He's got that length. That won't be a problem. Then once we get to the box step overs, he gets to use his length to his advantage. Nice, easy step. It's not going to be as demanding on him. And guess what? He can also take a nice long lunge once he gets to the dumbbell lunges.
And on the right there, that is Christian Lucero, who is in the hunt. He entered in 8th, and he is, again, fighting for one of those top 5 spots to go to Madison. And we see Bridges, he's out first. And we also see in lane 15, Jason Carroll, and in 18, it's Jeff Patzer. Here comes Brent Fikowski, as well as Cole Sager.
All right, now this is the problem for the field. The fact that you have Brent Fikowski hopping onto the assault bike with everybody else is not playing to their favor. They don't want that. Now recently we've been calling Brent Fikowski, when it comes to the chippers, he's the one that usually seems to crush this. You can see he's very aware of where everybody is, looking to see how everyone's feeling. But, you know, I know he's going to do well. He's got the height, he's got the pacing, the planning. But I know there are people that are really wanting to attack that as well. Now, Jason Carroll down at the bottom of your screen with the black shirt, he's a workhorse, and he's currently sitting in that 10th place position, 20 points out. He needs to do well here. The nice thing about Jason is he's got the ability just to kind of make it hurt. So this is where he kind of excels as well. So I'm looking to see that battle between him and Brent Fikowski.
Now we also saw Garrett Fisher there in the blue top, just in the center of your screen. He got to the bike a little bit late, so we're going to be wanting to watch that, as he did come in today in 6th place. There's Bridges there in the middle. He is your overall leader. On the left, that is Fikowski, then Sager, and then Barnard. Bridges is our overall leader after 4 events. Barnard was in 4th on the day. Sager was in 2nd.
Now I'm already seeing a difference between these different athletes. If you're watching Brent Fikowski, he looks almost like he's riding a bike. Hands are down, taking some goo, being very interested, probably checking his blood sugar, I don't know. Maybe checking his body fat just to see what's happening. But seems very relaxed here. He knows that this is not where you're gonna try to win. And those athletes that are really pushing, like if you look at Jason Carroll, he's pushing the tempo. One, because he really needs to push the tempo. He needs to get himself up there, so he's really gonna work. Whereas the plan for Fikowski, more than likely, is gonna be, I just need to keep myself resting. So we saw earlier in the last heat the RPMs of the different athletes. I was saying if you could sit somewhere around 60, 65, you're gonna be pretty good. We have Josh Bridges, who's flirting with that 70 RPM. Again, where he needs to do this is head ahead as much as possible because he doesn't have the height that these other athletes have.
Let's take a look at our time to beat it. Just happened in heat number 1, Justin Medeiros, 15:16:27. Again, that was Justin Medeiros. Heat number 1, 15:16:27. And here is Bridges, our overall leader, and he is the first off the bike. So now he's on to the dumbbell box step overs. 6 minutes gone by, 17-minute cap here.
All right, so let's see how difficult this is for Josh. Actually not too bad. Now I'll say this, it's not that Josh doesn't have the strength to do this, it's just that he has to step up that much higher. That's what's gonna be the issue.
And here comes Fikowski and Cody Anderson, who entered the day in 7th. He's right in the hunt there for that 5th spot as well.
So we see Cody off in the back. Now I'll tell you what, Cody had a very rough first day, had an absolutely spectacular second day, and here he is needing to make this happen for him. Now if you just look and think of Cody Anderson, you're not gonna sit there and think, yeah, he's gonna hammer this one, but he did the same thing yesterday. I didn't think he would have the result he would on that snatch burpee workout, and yet having that 2nd place finish, that was unbelievable. So you can't count Cody Anderson out at all. This kid just seems to move so well, especially when he needs to move well.
Again, that's Cody Anderson, entered the day in 7th, most definitely in the hunt to get a top 5 spot and a trip to Madison. Let's go back to Fisher, just getting off his bike now, so he'll make his way out to the dumbbell box step overs.
And I'm gonna say this, him getting off the bike last is not a big deal. Now granted, he's about 15 reps behind, but if he's rested, that could play to his favor. So we have a lot of reps we have to do. We have to see how fast he's able to move himself up and over that box consistently.
Brent Fikowski has moved into a slight lead on the left of your screen over Bridges. Again, this is heat 2 of event number 5. They started off with 50 handstand push-ups. They went to 50 toes to bar, then 50 calories burn on the assault bike. Now they're in the 50 dumbbell box step overs. It's the final day of competition here at the West Regional, and Brent Fikowski is in the lead. Fikowski entered the day in 3rd place, but here comes Bridges. Center of your screen, our overall leader. Fikowski, red trunks on the left.
And what's so crazy about Brent Fikowski is he comes up with his own plans. We know that. But he is doing, we've already seen how many people have done the low hang, I'm trying to keep my back low, don't want the dumbbells to come up very high, and he's very erect, very tall. Garrett Fisher, same thing. So we have these taller athletes. They're not needing to try to think of that strategic. They're just, I'm gonna step up and over this. It's just a hump I need to get up and over, not a big deal.
And Sager there in the middle of your screen, he's barely keeping that 2nd foot on the ground for any time at all.
You know what, I think that's a smart move as well. I've tried that side step. It's rough. That's something that I think you have to practice, because once you start to get tired and you have those weird angles on your ankles and your knees, the chances of something happening, I think increase a little bit. But if you practice it and you feel comfortable with it, man, go for it. And what I do like about it is he's moving quickly. He's off that box. There's not a whole lot of extra movement, so I think that's a good play for Cole.
Jason Carroll right now sitting in 3rd place in this heat right now.
Yeah, Jason really needs to get going. Now, he's been moving well. We saw how fast he was pumping on that bike. He really needs to get a good placement here to get himself up. He's got to cut that 20 points for that red line position. He's got to cut that down, so he needs to have a good showing.
And there's Fikowski on the left of your screen. He is in the lead right now. Bridges bent over on his box. He is in second right now, but he is our overall leader. Ten minutes gone by, 17-minute cap.
Now, I have to say, with Garrett Fisher, I was hoping that the plan was, let me take it a little bit slower on the assault bike, and then I can move a little bit quicker. But it doesn't seem like he's making up any distance on any of the athletes, or at least not that much, you know, relatively compared to the field. I don't know if he gets behind, if he's going to have that much room on the lunge to try to make up too much of a distance. So he needs to pick up the tempo if he wants to get himself above or into that top 5.
So Bridges, Sager, and Barnard all move their box at the same time, and they're all behind Fikowski right now, who is looking strong and in the lead here. Fikowski again entered the day 3rd overall. He is leading event 5, heat number 2 here at the West Regional. That's Sanchez, you see with the beard there. He's in 5th in this heat right now. Sanchez entered the day in 9th overall.
Wow.
So Fikowski has just 2 to go here before he starts on his lunges.
Incredible. I think everyone that gave Pat Vellner crap for sitting down on the box, I think everyone has gone ahead and decided that that's what you're supposed to do, because everyone has sat down.
So 1, 2, 3 right now is Fikowski, and then Sager, and then Jonathan Gibson. He was our leader in day 1 and dropped big time on day number 2, and now Fikowski is off, moving left to right on your screen.
Look at this speed. Now here's the thing, Pat Vellner had the record out of that first heat out of the East initially, and he was done with his step overs at 11:56. Brent started at about 11:55, so he's ahead of the pace than what Pat Vellner had.
Again, that record is 14:35.82. He did that at the East Regional. Fikowski is our leader here in heat number 2. He has a 52-second lead.
Oh my goodness.
As he gets the crowd to life.
You know, it's got to be nice when you can just look at the rest of the field all struggling and you're down there all by yourself. And smile at the same time.
Our leader from day number 1, Gibson, is now in 2nd place. He's got a lot of room to try and catch up. And now Fikowski is moving back in the opposite direction. He's chasing the event record of Patrick Vellner, 14:35.82 in the East Regional. And right now he looks like he is going to smash that time.
Wow.
Fikowski breaking the event by over a minute and taking event number 5 here at the West Regional.
Look at him flexing that swagger up at the top of that box. Dang, that was a lot of confidence.
Not lacking it in the slightest.
So if there was a question, apparently there's not a question anymore about him, right?
Here's Gibson.
My goodness.
Again, he was our leader on day number 1. Saw a huge drop on day number 2 that saw him move to 12th. Now he's trying to show his form on the final day of competition at the West Regional. Under 3 minutes remain. Fikowski again an event record, taking event number 5 here. Here's Gibson coming across. And he's ahead of the time that Vellner had set as well.
Now we got to look up in the middle of your screen. We got Cody Anderson, who's making his way down that lunge. You can see him, he just put the dumbbells, well, the judge is putting them back. This is a great position for him to be in. Now, remember, he's only 4 points out. Garrett Fisher is way back in the pack, so this is a great position for Cody Anderson. Again, I wouldn't expect him to do spectacular here. I wouldn't write this saying that this is going to be a perfect event for him, but he's handling this well.
See, Fisher right now is still working on the box step overs. And right now we see Anderson there, just trying to get back into that overhead position. Was struggling. Bridges there. Judge having him reset there. He's bent over, left of center in your screen.
See Jason Carroll down at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. He's got to get himself moving as well. He's got to try to cut down that 20-point deficit between him and 5th place.
And we see Stevenson moving up on the inside. Stevenson, he's overtaken Bridges.
And that's great for Stevenson. Now he's that 5th place position, and he wants to extend that bubble between him and the people between them.
He's getting backed up though. Here comes Bridges. And Bridges will cross the line with a minute to spare.
But for Stevenson, that's actually okay. Stevenson is all right. He just needs to keep himself above that bubble. So that's a great finish for Mitchell Stevenson. Great finish.
And this is Fisher who's still on the box step overs, or is just coming to a close with them.
He looks frustrated. He looks absolutely frustrated.
There's Barnard. And he'll come across with about 30 seconds to spare. Here's Anderson.
I'll tell you what, his body positioning is what's always been able to help him all the way through that gymnastics background. Now granted, I think he could have finished a little bit faster, but he was having those no recs up at the top. But that's still a great finish for Cody Anderson.
So Anderson comes in with 10 seconds to spare. That's Carroll in 15. He'll run out of time. But wow, Brent Fikowski, as we see Garrett Fisher, did not finish. But there's Fikowski. An event record. Brought the crowd to life here in Del Mar. And again, he was 3rd entering the day, and now we're going to see what we expected, more and more of that shakeup on the leaderboard.
Well, there's definitely going to be the shakeup towards that bottom part. That red line, Garrett, I was expecting to see so much from him in this particular event. I'm not sure if there was a problem coming into it, but wow, it just smashed him. He just could not seem to get himself into any sort of a rhythm to get himself going.
Again, Fisher entering the day was in 6th place.
So we talked about how difficult I thought it was going to be for Josh. We knew he was shorter, so the box step overs would be an issue, but he really handled himself, tried to get a little bit of distance on those handstand push-ups and then the toes to bar. He got to the bike first, seemed to do well there, tried to contain himself, but then Brent Fikowski, pacing like he always does, strolling through the park on that bike, and then once he got to those dumbbell step overs, it's like the strategy was, I'm going to do a dumbbell box step over. There wasn't, I'm going to try and stay low. I'm going to do this little hop, skip, and a jump. He just step, step, step all the way through. He looked very calm, came through there very well. Look at the positioning on those lunges. That arm's locked out. Doesn't look like he's having any sort of an issue. The dumbbell's not sloppy on his other shoulder, the one that's down. So again, he just looks so comfortable. And again, when you're confident and you feel proud of him, you saw how he was riling up the crowd. When you're able to do that, you can almost lift or do anything. And man, what a way to finish that event. And if there was a question before, it's almost like he's kind of pointing to everyone. Was there a question? I don't think there was a question.
Well, maybe for the couple of questions is Kiki Dixon. She's got Brent Fikowski down on the floor.
Brent, you just set a new event record by over a minute. What is it about these events that allows you to excel?
I don't really know. I guess my swimming background has big lungs, and I always do well under pressure, and it seems to help in these chipper events.
There was a lot of importance and a lot of talk about the dumbbell movements, but how much importance did you put on the front end of this event?
I just tried to minimize my transitions. So trying to take really short breaks and just trust that my capacity would hold me through. And by the time I got to the dumbbells, I might be a little fresher than someone who got there before me.
On Instagram, you said a big day of study. You're looking forward to events 5 and 6 throughout this weekend. What's the focus for event 6?
Recover the legs right now. Go as hard as I can on those rope climbs and be smart on the thrusters, but I'm going hard. I plan to win that one if I can and finish with a bang.
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
That is Brent Fikowski, our Event 5 winner and Event 5 record setter. He finishes with a time of 13:30. We see Jonathan Gibson finish second, followed by Cole Sager, Justin Medeiros, Andre Jordan, Kyle Kleinschmidt, Josh Bridges, Mitchell Stevenson, Mitch Barnard, and Vinny Catricala.